Hey guys, it's Lotus and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to continue on with our read-along of Guardian. Let's jump right into it. Chapter 15. The man is in his 30s, of medium build, wearing a pair of wide-rimmed glasses and a bracelet of sandalwood prayer beads. At first glance, he seems quite ordinary. He gets out of the car and takes out his phone. He turns it to camera mode and points it at himself, with the hospital in the background. September 1st, 11:23, special mission at Dragon City 2nd Hospital. East Pagoda Road, Eastern District, Linjing, over. A black SUV comes to a stop behind him, tires squealing. Zhao Yunlan jumps out and shouts, "Stop that nonsense and come with me, quick!" Someone's about to die and you're taking a selfie video? Zhao Yunlan thinks furiously. How the F did his life come to this? His colleagues are either not human or have severe brain damage. The hospital is shrouded in dark mist, and there are no people around. The pedestrians hurrying past from East Pagoda Road seem to be oblivious. Zhao Yunlan tries to call Shen Wei and Go Changcheng twice in turn, but neither picks up. He swears, kicking the hospital door open violently. A tendril of black fog pounces towards him. He swiftly dodges and draws a palm-length dagger from his trouser leg. He rolls on the floor, jumps to the side, and accurately slashes at the shadow, splitting it in two. More shadows are coming at him from all directions now. Behind him, Lin Jing draws a gun. Chanting mantras, he shoots down the creatures one after another, not missing a single one of them. Have you checked the horoscope readings of the trainee? Zhao Yunlan faces the corridor stuffed with shadows like a hair-clogged sewer. When he went to the school, he attracted resentful spirits. When he went to the hospital, he attracted the hungry ghost. In a fantasy novel, he'd be a spirit-luring flag. Lin Jing chants, that which his form is emptiness. I'll pray for him after this. That which my ass, speak English or shut your mouth. That which is emptiness is form, Lin Jing continues calmly. Mother effer! Lin Jing pauses for a moment and advises, Chief, you must purify your six senses and abstain from evil. This is the reason why he hates his job. Zhao Yunlan takes a deep breath and puts the dagger in his mouth. He brings out a yellow paper talisman and lights it with his lighter. The paper explodes into a storm of flames, engulfing all nearby spirits in a 3 feet tall fire spiral. The flames destroy everything in their path, and the endless crowds of ghosts vanish in the mystical flare. Amitabha? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Amitabha. May Buddha have mercy on your soul. Zhao Yunlan is pissed. Enough of that. Half a minute later, only embers and ashes remain. Zhao Yunlan strides over and lights a cigarette with the dying flames. He signals Lin Jing to follow him and opens the door at the end of the corridor. The group hiding in the storage room doesn't know that help is on the way. The screeching fingernails are increasingly vicious, and Go Changcheng's breathing speeds up correspondingly. His nerves are tense close to snapping, and he is hovering on the edge of collapse. Shen Wei ignores him and asks the cat, "What do we do?" Da Qing, a worldly wise and experienced cat, replies calmly, "Don't worry, hang in there for a little long. Chief Zhao got your message, let's wait for him to save us." What? He's coming alone? Is that safe? How can he get in? Da Qing wags his tail airily, not sure what the fuss is about. "Don't worry, a few small ghosts can't hurt him." Shen Wei frowns and leans against the wall. "Can't we save ourselves?" Da Qing glances at him and replies coldly, "We have a team that consists of a human, a piece of garbage, a vegetable, and me, a cute mascot. As for saving ourselves, if they ate us, we wouldn't even get stuck in their teeth." Didn't I just smash that thing to pieces with a chair? "That's because it was too hungry and let its guard down. You two young guys have strong yang energy, so it couldn't resist attacking despite being a little too weak to take you. Now we're surrounded by a whole horde of evil spirits. There's nothing we can do. Oh, F, why is there another one?" Shrill children's laughter comes from the corner of the room. Shen Wei looks down and sees a pale little girl kneeling on the floor, laughing eerily and playfully trying to grab the cat's tail. Before he can even make out whether she has fangs, Go Changcheng jumps at him and clings to him like a koala to a tree. "Help!" The young police officer, who had just vowed in tears that he would protect him, is clinging to Shen Wei. snotty-nosed and screaming at the top of his voice, A ghost! It's a ghost! The child ghost is young, and its brain did not fully develop. Now she's found a new way to entertain herself and abandons the cat at once, floating towards Go Chang Chung. She curiously looks up at him. She looks him up and down. Go Chang Chung carefully squints downwards and sees her stick her tongue out and roll her eyes back, while her head spins 360 degrees and almost detaches. Go Chang Chung is so frightened he can't even pass out. He hangs onto Shun Wei as tightly as he can and continues screaming, "Ah! Ghost!" Shun Wei stands in silence, upright like a soldier, holding onto his waistband so Go Chang Chung doesn't pull down his pants, while behind him the hungry ghost's nails scratch at the door, and the little girl is doing the head thing in front of him. In a certain weird way, it's quite funny. Poor intern. Only a few meters in, Zhao Yunlan's revealing watch starts to malfunction and rotate crazily. There are way too many evil things in here. He yells, "Hey, fake monk! My watch is broken again! Use whatever tricks you have and be quick about it! There are people waiting for us to save their lives!" Lin Jing smiles and sits cross-legged on the floor. He closes his eyes and holds the prayer beads in his hands, chanting mantras like an old monk. Zhao Yunlan, long used to this, waits impatiently, leaning against the wall with his arms folded across his chest. A moment later, Lin Jing opens his eyes and shouts, "There!" The prayer beads quiver and rattle, and Lin Jing stands up and points to a direction. "Over there!" Zhao Yunlan starts walking and remarks, "That was fast this time!" Lin Jing explains, "They're two young men, so their combined yang energy is very easy to spot." Zhao Yunlan pauses. "Two? What about the girl?" "The girl isn't with them." Zhao Yunlan frowns. It's true that Da Qing is just a cat, and a lazy one too, but he's not cruel or frivolous. And then there's Professor Shun. He could not have just abandoned Li Qian. Offhand, he says, "That's impossible. Shun Wei would never abandon a student." Zhao Yunlan has only met Shun Wei once, but he has a strong feeling that he's not that kind of person. Lin Jing asks, "Who's this Shun Wei person? Isn't the trainee called Go?" Zhao Yunlan can't be bothered. "You don't need to know." Lin Jing pauses for a moment, coming to a realization. "The last time you tried to avoid a conversation like that, you were falling for the campus belle. So tell me, who's the beauty this time? Wait, is it a guy or a girl?" Zhao Yunlan answers him. "Amitabha, that which is emptiness is form." Lin Jing has nothing to say to that. Zhao Yunlan lights the way into the eerie, narrow hallway with his lighter. The convoluted corridors intersect and diverge like a deadly spider lair. Why isn't Li Qian with them? Was there a reason for them to abandon the girl? Or do they just think that they're with her? At this moment, Li Qian, in the corner of the storage room, opens her eyes. Oh, end of chapter 15. Oh no. So Zhao Yunlan and Lin Jing are at the scene and here to save them, but they're being held up by a bunch of ghosts. And Shun Wei, Go Chang Chung, Da Qing are stuck in a storage room with ghosts outside trying to eat them. And even some harmless ghosts inside trying to freak them out. But apparently, Lin Jing can't sense Li Qian's aura. Why is that? Is that not really Li Qian that they're with? Let's continue. Chapter 16. Go Chang Chung hears some noise and looks back over his shoulder to find Li Qian standing up. Her movements are incongruous, like a broken puppet controlled by an inexperienced puppeteer. But she is probably still suffering after effects of the sedatives. Go Chang Chung is relieved. "Oh, thank God, you're all right." Li Qian stays silent and stares at him blankly. Suddenly, Go Chang Chung finds her rather strange. Li Qian?" He walks forward to take a closer look, but Shun Wei blocks his way. Li Qian smiles eerily, her mouth curving up into an unnatural crescent. She makes a strange gurgling noise. Her shoulders twist awkwardly as if rusty, and her entire body sways. Just when Go Chang Chung wonders if she is paralyzed, she pounces forward at lightning speed, opens her mouth, and attacks Shun Wei's shoulder. In the dim light of the phone, her gaping mouth reveals teeth like the tusks of a monster, and her eyes are almost popping out. Shun Wei moves back and dodges sideways, bumping into Go Chang Chung. Go Chang Chung, slow to react, acts on instinct, and unwittingly fulfills his promise to protect the other. His arms flail at Li Qian like those of a frantic octopus. His clumsy attacks consist of scratching and hair pulling, and he seems about to pounce on her to bite her. In this scrappy fight, he hits her in the face by chance and steps on her twice in a panic. Wow, great going, intern! Go Chang Chung, you got this! Even though his actions are almost heroic, he continues to shriek tearfully in his usual feeble way. Don't come here! Don't come here! Help! The situation can't get any more chaotic. Caught in the middle, Shen Wei pushes Go Chang Chung away with one hand and twists Li Qian's arm with the other. Li Qian wriggles and twists like a crab in a cooking pot, crawling and biting violently. Shen Wei lets go of Go Chang Chung and clutches her neck from behind, pushes her to the wall, and traps her flailing hands. The small storage room is in an uproar. A hissing girl, a ghost child hugging the leg of a crying policeman, a swearing cat, and horrifying claws scratching at the door from outside. Although Shen Wei is more composed than any human could ever be, he wonders at this point whether he's having a schizophrenic dream. Who can help me tie her up? Shen Wei asks. But between all the crying and swearing, nobody pays any attention to him. He raises his voice. Stop crying, Officer Go. That little one won't bite you. May I trouble you to come and help me? As if to prove him right, the ghost child opens his almost toothless mouth and starts nibbling on Go Chang Chung's leg. Oh, that's kind of cute! Go Chang Chung screeches like a dolphin, but the cat paws him across the head to shut him up. Look properly, you idiot! Go Chang Chung feels like he is about to pass out from pain, but on this, he opens his eyes a fraction and looks down. The little ghost girl's teeth and hands are going straight through his body. She can't even touch him. He blinks in amazement and the burning pain disappears instantly. Clearly, his powerful imagination had simply made it up. Li Qian grows stronger and stronger, howling frantically, and Shen Wei yells, Officer Go! Go Chang Chung scrambles over and takes off his belt. He has to clamp his legs together as if trying not to pee to keep his pants from falling down, but he helps Shen Wei to tie up the girl. Suddenly, the spirit of the old lady reappears. She seems to have weakened quite a bit, and as she anxiously tries to touch Li Qian, her hand only goes through the girl's body. The more she tries, the weaker she gets. Go Chang Chung reaches out to stop her. Hey, old lady! His hand goes through her. She turns around and looks at him. Her face is deeply lined with large bags under her eyes. Her sparse white hair is held together in a wig bun, revealing an ugly, shriveled scalp. Her eyes are dull. She seems eager to say something, but when she opens her mouth, no sound comes out. When she keeps reaching out in vain without touching anything, her eagerness finally turns to despair. Helplessly, she stares at Li Qian, silent tears falling down her face. They are as dull as her eyes, like rainwater washed through mud. Go Chang Chung stands there stupidly, looking at Professor Shen and Da Qing for help. He points at Li Qian and says, What's going on with her? Shen Wei lowers his head, uncertain, but Da Qing sighs. Something evil is inside her, but there's got to be a reason. If you can be fine yet she gets possessed, there must be something wrong with her. Go Chang Chung can't tell if this is a compliment or an insult, but he doesn't get long to wonder because the small iron door bursts open with a bang. A giant scythe comes slashing in viciously. Shen Wei nimbly dodges and pushes Li Qian to the side. The hungry ghost's claw grazes his scalp. The door is completely torn open. The hungry ghost, far bigger than before, pounces forward towards the living, right through Ghost Grandma's body. Her horrified expression seems to remain even as her body disappears completely. Da Qing screams, Dodge! Go Chang Chung instinctively sits on the floor. Da Qing jumps to a high spot and his body begins bulking up to almost twice his size. His eyes turn gold. He gives off the impression of a small growling panther with razor-sharp teeth. But he doesn't make an ordinary noise. He blasts out a beam of supersonic sound waves, invisible energy bursting towards the hungry ghost rampaging through the storage room. Go Chang Chung can't hear it, but he can feel the sheer power. It flashes in front of his face like knives, and he almost feels as if his nose is cut off. The next second, the hungry ghost slams against the wall. In the dim light, Shen Wei thinks he can even see a crack forming. The evil ghost is pinned to the wall like a decoration. Da Qing returns to normal size and stumbles forward, falling off the shelf like a zombie cat. Shen Wei catches him just in time. Da Qing glances at Shen Wei weakly before passing out in his arms. For a moment, Go Chang-chung fears he is dead, but when Shunwei pets his fur and Da Qing's stomach rises and falls regularly under his palm, he realizes Da Qing has only passed out from fatigue. What do we do? Go Chang-chung asks, getting up from the floor. Before anyone can say anything, an earth-shaking howl blasts through the room. Go Chang-chung falls back down on his butt. Startled, they turn to look at the wall. The hungry ghost is starting to bulk up again and has started to move. Hordes of black shadows crowd in from the corridor. The hungry ghost absorbs them all, and its gigantic stomach keeps expanding like a balloon. It detaches from the wall and lands on the floor on its skinny legs, swaying. Its mouth opens to nearly 180 degrees, so that its head looks like a watermelon chopped open. A terrible wind comes from the storage room. Go Chang-chung feels himself slip forward uncontrollably and finds in shock that he is moving further away from Shunwei and closer to the ghost by the second. I'm being sucked in! Go Chang-chung screams, and despite his panic, he somehow finds a metaphor. I'm being sucked in like jelly in a vacuum cleaner! I'm being eaten alive! He struggles to grab something in midair. I'm a police officer! I'm being eaten alive! I'm a police officer! He has completely forgotten that he initially used the phrase to inspire himself. But his brain must be malfunctioning anyway. There's no logical relationship between being a police officer and being eaten alive. Perhaps even the hungry ghost finds his food too noisy. It opens its mouth again and roars. Go Chang-chung feels strangled by an invisible hand and no longer makes any sound. He struggles to shake his head, hands scrambling at his own neck. Their veins are already standing out. His throat makes an awful sound like a leaky old bellows. Shunwei grabs his hand and tries to pull him back. Go Chang-chung feels as if he's being torn in two. Da Qing is still unconscious. Li Qian is flailing on the floor with dull eyes, and the giant hungry ghost approaches slowly with a whole horde of smaller spirits. The situation cannot get any worse. But after darkness is light. Just then, a sharp whistle comes out from nowhere, like a falling star tearing through the darkest night, piercing everyone's eardrums. The ghost child is terrified, screams a silent scream, and escapes down through the floor. A black dagger slashes down between Go Chang-chung and the hungry ghost, as if cutting an invisible rope, and the ghost smashes against the wall. Go Chang-chung falls backwards onto Professor Shun, and the two tumble. Go Chang-chung falls flat on the ground, but Shunwei is caught by someone. Zhao Yunlan wraps his arms around Shunwei's waist and steps aside, the angles of his face thrown into relief by the dim light of the lighter. Handsome, cool, and sharply contoured like a well-crafted statue. His eyes sparkle in the sheer darkness like two flames. Chief Zhao plays the role of savior expertly. He lowers his voice like an untamed wolf, looking into the professor's eyes like a hero saving a damsel in distress. Professor Shun, are you alright? Nobody remembers the poor trainee wailing on the floor. End of chapter 16. Oh, poor Go Chang-chung. He's really going through it. He's seen so much today. Good job, Da Qing. You know, he was able to use his powers a bit, but he's a little rusty because he got super fatigued right after. It looks like Li Qian got possessed by an evil spirit. So they had to subdue her, and they also have to hold off the hungry ghost with the scythe. But luckily, Chief Zhao and Lin Jing are here to the rescue. Chief Zhao comes right in time to block and slash the hungry ghost and catches Shunwei by the waist. It says he wraps his arms around Shunwei's waist. Wow, okay. He's like, just like low-key copping a feel because he can. Yeah, I guess for Zhao Yunlan, it's like he'll take any opportunity that he can get. Anyway, wow, it's getting tense. Now they're gonna have to battle the hungry ghost and help the grandmother ghost, right? Help Li Qian's grandmother and help Li Qian because she got possessed. Hopefully they resolve that all in the next read-along, but we won't know until next time. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's read-along, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!